What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. So yesterday, Farfa dropped the full set release for Duel Devastator, kind of an awesome event for the Yu-Gi tubing community, and it seems that I had a hot take on it, overly positive about how the set release turned out and the final reveals, which didn't have Phantasme, Impermanence, Extravagance, Needle Fiber. I think you're relatively naive if you are expecting those cards within the set, and I've been saying that Phantasme and cards like that would likely be used to sell a side set or the next upcoming March reprint set. But there is a pretty fair take within the comment section that I think I should address. And a lot of you guys ended up liking this comment. Dude gets revealed, oh no, it's super bad and will hurt the players in the market. Dude list is fully revealed, full of garbage and useless reprints. This is amazing value, get it now. Well, the total value versus current market price is around $145. And of course that will decrease on release, but it's still the 6 Ghost Girl hand traps. Now, I initially disliked the very fast reprinting of the Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood because, well, that was in Dane, and it was announced for reprint about 2 to 3 weeks after its release. That does set a dangerous precedent, and Konami also releasing their own cards as singles. I dislike the fact, but a lot of you guys brought up that, hey, they've been doing this forever, and starter decks, and I'm like, you're pretty right about it. It's about evolving opinions and connecting with the community. So I asked the reason about him being transparent, and he says that I'm flip-flopping and trying to get on Konami's good side. I'm a financial Yu-Gi tube. I don't think that's going to line up into Konami's good graces anytime soon. I run Zodiac Duelist as well, a group that they've expressed dislike for directly to me. I also do drunk streams. I'm not going to be changing any of this for them, and if they'd for some reason like to work with me in the future, sure, I'll take them up. I'd also be the guy asking Jerome when he reveals new promos as good as Nibiru if they're slightly as good as Sea Monster of Theseus, 2017's best card. I'm never going to reach out to be on Konami's good side if they'd like to work with me with how I keep my content. Yes, now what I did miss is, you know, trying to tell you guys, hey, if you already have some of these cards, value the singles versus the box itself, but I don't plan to make a spoon-fed audience. I assume that you guys can see what singles are in there versus should I be buying this. If you already have super polymerizations in the hand traps, there's little value in it for you, but if you're a returning player or somebody who sold your deck off at the WCQ and held out till now, it is amazing value. But Maverick Hunter, I actually do want to say, kept himself completely courteous the entire time while having this conversation, and I can see why and where he's coming from, so I wanted to address it directly at the beginning of my largest segment, and also say, hey, if Konami does want to work, fine. I'm not changing anything with my stuff. Now, let's go over some of the most wanted cards for some reason in the comment section to be in Duel Devastator, and from Zodiac Reddit, other places. Drone Lock I found very odd that people wanted it in Duel Devastator because it has a very recent starter deck reprint. This card is, you know, around $2 to $3 for its common, and you can still find the structure deck with amazing cards on the shelf. I could get wanting the Ultra for cheaper, but the Ultra is already like $5, and so is the Super, so you can get a fully foiled out Drone Lock set for $15. I get that there's a ton of hand traps in the set, but I found this one weird. I also found it weird people wanting Psyframe Gear Gamma. Although the quantities aren't the highest ever on market for it, it's still really affordable. I think like towards $12 for a playset, and even cheaper on eBay. Yeah, so 4 each, and then this guy has several at $350 before it does go up rather quickly, but that's cheaper than the price of a Psyframe Lord Lambda that just came out, which you would be probably using it in conjunction with. So I really don't see, other than these are hand traps, it would have been nice for easily accessible hand traps, why the focus is on these cards other than terrible cards like Catastor did end up in there, or Trishula, which didn't have any value despite what an amazing card it is. Boral Savage Dragon's probably the best suggestion I would have heard for this. Instead, it was Topologic Bomber Dragon, which also had a recent buyout, does have medium value, but it's from Savage Strike, and there's so few good cards in Savage Strike that if it's taking up a slot in the Megatons, and it's also, you know, ducking and dodging and fading reprints within the March reprint set, and then Battles of Legend, and then the Megatons, there's so many reprint sets now, including if they continue Duel Devastator. that Boral Savage Dragon's gonna find its way into reprint set sooner or later. Of course, I would like it to be sooner with the rocket structure here. Pendulum players, of course, wanting to continue kind of the budget road, but it's a $34 ultra rare, which is high for an ultra rare, yet Savage Strike just doesn't have a lot of great value like Dark Neostorm does, which is another point of like how I enjoyed that Ghost Sisters and Spooky Dogwood's value didn't end up being like crazily dependent on how the shaping of that set Dark Neostorm would turn out. But you have Phantasme, you have Extravagance, you have Savage Dragon, then you have a combo piece, and then everything's 5 or under. It's that top heavy that by the bottom of the first page of Savage Strike, you end up towards a $4 card. That's pretty insane when considering that's not even 10 cards because the products also mixed in here, 3 of them. So that's 7 total cards. It's very, very top heavy, which I enjoy for sets because it makes the rest of the cards more accessible while making a few very expensive. Now, we also do see Pot of Extravagance up here, which is a card many of you all suggested. And when we're looking at Pot of Extravagance, it's actually going down in price right now. We see it at 69, so it's under 70 versus the 73, 74 it's at. $62, and I believe that's near mint. $63, Secret First Edition. So these prices are very... Oh, hey, well, that's Market Watch for you. Literally sold while I'm talking about it. So these are really fresh tabs from literally right before this conversation. Well, so... Extravagance still down under that $70 mark, but the market does move. A lot of people are making decisions today based on the actual, okay, Duel Devastator has this in it, what am I getting moving forward for the winter? But the winter almost always has cool off prices. There's very few cards I would suggest, which I'm actually going to load live here in a second. Phantasme is also going down, interestingly enough. We see $80 over here, which seems upped, but the moderate play. We see the $71 for 2 of them still here. Still here. 2 of them near mint at 71 free shipping, and then there's a couple of other cheap copies before it goes up. So there are motivated sellers. There's still people out there undercutting the market on these cards, and I think that will continue through the winter. Now, cards that I would be considering here, I actually don't have my tabs fully loaded. Evenly Matched is a card that I personally think is going to start baby bumping up, but also could be suspect to the next March reprint set, because remember how Konami likes to do, that reprint was so good, we'll do it again. Card of Demise ended up reprinted between both March sets, Dupo and Legendary Collection Kaiba, and I have a sneaking suspicion that Evenly Matched will end up in the next March set, but if it doesn't, this is going to be a card that comes in and out of format similar to Ghost Ogre, but with only 3 printings and it being relatively hard to get, I would have my playset sooner than later, using my TCG player link in the description below. Bookmark it, please, for me. Smile. You also have Dengirsu, which is heading up. I've already brought this one up on Market Watch, but it had a $40 price point before, and a lot of the format is Orcust soup, meaning, well, I can mix my Lunalights with Orcust, I can play pure Orcust, I can do this deck with Orcust. A lot of people, Cyber Dragon Orcust, by the way, a lot of people are going with Orcust engines, and I think Dengirsu has a high ceiling for an ultra rare, similar to Borreload Savage, but a lot of people opting to play Dengirsu choose to play 2 over 1 a lot of the time, but it really depends on your extra deck space. This is an amazing card. It is a generic 8, and I think it's relatively good to have. And the final card that I'm kind of on the fence against is Infinite Impermanence, because I have a feeling that we're going to see the following marketing on Impermanence similar to Ash Blossom, where this is used to sell a side set. Yet right now, it's pretty up in price towards the $43 mark, but I believe on eBay, it's around 40. Infinite Impermanence Ian. Yeah, the lows are around 40 right here, so much cheaper on eBay. I think I've always been pretty transparent with my content. Even though I have an incentive for you guys to use TCG Player, I constantly show eBay prices, especially when they're cheaper, and I always lead you guys to the best deals for yourselves. I think it's very open and honest about what I get from my sponsorships, what I give out of those sponsorships to you guys, and how I conduct myself in that manner. So, if you have any doubts, you think I'm disingenuous with my audience, let me know in the comment section below. But I think it's very good to have these open conversations and talk about the things as they happen, and also put the proof where my wallet is, or put the proof where my mouth is, I suppose, in certain instances. But I definitely do think that there's a lot of reasons for, you know, this new set, Duel Devastator, to enter the market how it is. And yes, Konami has been selling their singles in a starter deck for a while. Actually, considering it, I think that Duel Devastator is worse than a starter deck in some aspects of we don't get a sealed strategy within it that's brand new that could enter the market elsewhere. I really wonder, like, when they make a starter deck, if they entered the market as a whole. Like, imagine if Solomon Great was a packed archetype instead of in a starter deck, how its future actually would have played out. So I kind of feel like that soul is missing within Duel Devastator, but yet we get a ton of great reprints such as Super Polymerization that I lose money on. I just picked like 20 of those out of bulk if you've been keeping up with the live stream, so I'm a little salty about that. I still think Duel Devastator is great for its target audience, and it didn't rip the secondary market a new one too hard. That's just my opinion on it. Let me know yours. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It definitely helps the channel out. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these open and honest conversations, and we'll see you tonight on the live stream if you join. That's 7 o'clock Central, Friday.